Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step by step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out.
Everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Affirmation Addict podcast. On today's episode, I'm going to be answering a really big question a lot of you asked me recently, and that is, what does it actually mean to act as if? We hear this principle a lot in the law of attraction space, so I'm going to give you 10 different ways you can actually embody this principle, and I'm going to hopefully shed some light on this so you can truly act as if your desires have already manifested. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Payal Agarwal. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so excited to dive into today's episode. Actually, wait, before we get started, I wanted to check with you. Have you heard about my new app? It's called Affirm It, and it's your one-stop shop for all things affirmations, manifestation, and self-healing. I really have been wanting to create something for you that truly empowers you to realize that you genuinely have everything you need within you. You don't need me. You don't need any other coaches. This app genuinely has everything you need to get that life that you've been trying to manifest. And it has gentle daily reminders, guided audio affirmations, sleep affirmations, affirmation reminders, and so much more good information, good energy, and so many things that I know will help you manifest your dreams. Because I'm so grateful for you, I'm actually offering you a free 7-day trial. And this is a genuine 7-day trial. That means you don't have to type in your credit card. You won't be automatically charged. There's no ads, and you get complete access to the app as if you've already subscribed to it. So if you do want to learn more about the app, head over to affirmation-addict.com/app, or if you're ready to dive in, head over to the iTunes App Store and search for Affirm It. The Android version will be coming soon, and as soon as it's ready, I'll be sure to let you know. Now we can officially dive into today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to today's episode. And if you are here, I know that you are looking for more clarity on acting as if your manifestation has already occurred. And I'm so excited to talk about this topic because it's something that it took me a long time to really understand what it means. And I did this through trial and error. So in this episode, I'm literally giving you the biggest shortcut on how to truly act as if. And I'll throw a couple examples in there to help relate to some common goals people have. And I really hope that this episode can clear up the air for what it means to act as if. And before I really dive in, if you've never heard of this concept to act as if, the idea behind it, and I feel like it started when The Secret came out, and basically it was said that the more you act as if your manifestations have already occurred, the more likely it is that they'll come faster to you. And the idea behind it is more on an emotional and energetic level, because the more your energies and your actions and your emotions can match that which you'll have when your manifestation has occurred, the easier it is for you to align with it. And I know that's kind of a difficult and sounds too easy thing to do. And that's why I want to give you some actionable steps to help you get to that level, because it really all, once again, comes down to just monitoring your emotions, understanding your triggers, working through those triggers, and then kind of gathering those emotions and acting the way you really want to act. Because a lot of the times we just act in a very reactive way, but through the act as if principle, it really takes a lot of self-awareness and self-control, and really consciously acting how you want to act. And it's a lot easier said than done. So be patient with yourself as you go through this process of learning how to act as if, and be gentle. I always, always hope that you're gentle with yourself because it can be a difficult process. Sometimes you don't know if you're doing it right, but I really want you to know you're always doing it right. There's no such thing as messing this up. You're not messing up the process. You're not setting yourself up for failure. You're literally always getting better. And so now diving into 10 ways to actually act as if. And the first one is feel your way into the emotions. A lot of people try acting as if on a physical level right away, but once again, that's not the ideal goal. Your energy and your emotions are way, way stronger, especially in the art of manifestation. The manifestations occur based off of your energy. So feeling your way into the emotions. So what does that even mean? If you are trying to manifest a new car, okay, you want to think about how would you actually feel? And just ask yourself, if you can't immediately close your eyes and experience those feelings, start out with writing them down. That's something that I really did that helped me a lot, was I would just write down different words and different things that I wanted to feel because it would help me understand how to channel those emotions. So before even trying to just sit there and visualize those feelings and experience those feelings, I encourage you to identify which emotions you would feel once you manifest what you want to manifest. So, for example, if I manifest a new car and I'm already in that manifestation, some of the feelings that I would write down in my journal are accomplished, fast, maybe, like because you have a fast new car, powerful, speedy, like those are some of the emotions that you might start to channel, and write those down so that you can really get clarity, because it's oftentimes really difficult to just sit there, see a new car in your mind, and then start to channel emotions because we don't even know how we want to feel. So it's okay to sit down in your journal and identify those emotions first. And then once you identify them, you can start to feel your way into those emotions. So feeling your way, what I really like to do is I do this before I sleep or when I wake up in the morning. I just take 1 to 2 minutes and just close my eyes, imagine a picture of whatever I'm trying to manifest, and just start to generate those feelings. And I know this is the worst first step because this is literally what all of you guys are asking me. And so the second step is a way to help you manifest and generate that feeling. And this second step is, if you can't feel the future, recall a past memory that made you feel similarly. And some people ask, oh, is it okay to focus on the past? And you're not focusing on that past memory necessarily. You're just recalling that past memory so that you can generate those feelings. And once you harness that feeling, then you can just carry that feeling as you move forward. So for example, for me, a really beautiful memory for me is getting proposed to. That really warmed my heart and filled my heart up. So anytime I'm not feeling good, I just really quickly remember the proposal and how I felt, and my heart immediately swells up. And you guys know that this happens because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real. So me imagining and remembering my proposal is just as powerful as me experiencing the proposal. So those emotions are just as real, just as true. So recall that memory, feel that emotion, and then translate it into that thing that you want to manifest. This is probably my favorite and most powerful tip in acting as if, because it's super easy for us to do, because we all have felt at least similar to how we want to feel once we manifest something. So that is tip number 2, is if you can't feel the future, you don't know what to feel, and it's just not working for you, start by recalling a past memory and enjoying that past memory. And then you can kind of harness it into that future. Step number 3 is stop worrying about it coming. I always throw this in there because the worry that you associate with acting as if, and am I doing this right? Is this happening? Am I doing this fast enough? When is it going to come to me? Those are all emotions and thoughts that wouldn't be there if you manifested it. So you're really just giving the universe mixed signals, and you're really just undoing all the work that you are putting in. that feeling of worry and those thoughts of, is this happening? When is this happening? Those are literally just undoing every single affirmation you say, every single time you generate and feel those emotions, every time you act as if. So really, really understand that the worry that you're feeling is just a worry and just a fear of just a potential idea in your mind. You could do so much more with imagining the best case scenario rather than imagining the worst case scenario. And to give you an example, say that I am trying to manifest my soulmate, right? If I'm trying to manifest my soulmate, when I have manifested my soulmate in that future, I'm not going to be sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, has my soulmate manifested yet? Am I going to meet my soulmate? What is he going to be like? Those are not going to be those thoughts. So you thinking those worrisome and fearful thoughts right now is the opposite of you acting as if. And that applies for anything that you're doing. So really be cognitive of those thoughts and really be aware, why am I thinking these thoughts? Instead of just shutting down the worry and ignoring them, I invite you to just dig deeper into them. What are you actually scared of? What is bothering you? And anytime a fear comes up, just remind yourself, I'm in the right place, I am safe, and I'm exactly where I need to be. You know that you're always safe. You're here listening to this podcast, so you have to be okay. And so just trust that you're going to get to where you need to be without the worry, because that worry is really, really negating your entire process, and it completely goes against the idea of acting as if. So that, I hope, motivates you to work through your fears rather than let your fears guide you and stop you. Okay, number 4 is actually a fun one I just recently learned about. And before I go into it, I want to give you some information that I learned. Did you know that 40 to 50% of our memories that we remember so vividly, so clearly, are actually completely inaccurate? I'm going to repeat that again because I know it sounds so crazy. At least half of our memories that are ingrained in our mind that we kind of cherish are actually inaccurate. They are not completely true. They're not completely representative of what actually happened during that time. So one little trick that I've been trying to start is, instead of acting as if and visualizing that it's happening in the future, recall it as a memory. And the reason I do this is because I feel like it's a lot easier to recall something as a memory because it's already happened and it's somewhere it's happened, you're happy, it's in your subconscious mind, rather than, oh my gosh, when is it going to happen? Is it even going to happen to me? The future seems a lot scarier than the past sometimes. And so I think this is a really fun way, if you want to try it, to, instead of acting as if that it happened in the future, act as if it's already happened in the past for you. And realize that so many of your memories that you hold on so tightly to are not even completely true. And so you're not really lying to yourself. That's just the way the brain works. And really remember that, you know what, this has happened to me and I know how this is going to feel, and then channel that energy and take those physical actions. And so that is something I think is really, really powerful, because I think it's a lot easier to believe in a past physical memory than a future possibility that doesn't even seem real. Number 5 is taking physical action. It's super important to take physical action when you're acting as if, but a lot of people take this a little too literally, in my opinion. I think physical steps means physical shifts that actually embody the way that you are changing, that actually embody the way your highest self or your future self would be if they had this manifestation. So, for example, for common things like wanting more money, it doesn't mean just go spend all your money. It means think about how you would treat your money if you had $1 million in the bank. You would probably manage it. Maybe you would do a better job and have a weekly kind of date with yourself to manage your money, look through your money, check your credit card statements. You would take more care of your money. You would still spend it, but on a smaller scale. So if you are trying to manifest more money, do it on a smaller scale and start managing your money. Maybe do a ritual where every month you get yourself one gift, and it can be even a budget. budget. It can even be 10% of your extra savings that you have. Whatever you want to do, but make it work for you. It doesn't have to be, okay, I have to act as if, so let me spend all my money and not save anything. I do believe you have to be a little smarter, and I do believe you have to do what works for you. For some people, it might be very freeing to spend all their money, but for some people, it might be super stressful. So just because something works for one person, it doesn't mean that it has to work for you. So you're allowed to be flexible and make your own rules and decide, how do I want to act when I have all that money, and how am I going to act today to start channeling that I do actually have a lot more money than I'm used to. And number 6 is make small changes in your daily routine. I really like this, and this can be a small change completely unrelated to that manifestation, but the more daily changes you make, I believe the more shifts that can happen and the more manifestations that can come quicker in our lives, because I've seen it myself. So I noticed when I started journaling for 1 minute a day, I noticed that my manifestations would come up a lot quicker. For somebody, it might be just drinking a whole glass of water before you get out of bed. So it can be little small shifts, or even changing up your work outfits, something little small shifts in your daily routine that will really, really help you embody that future version of yourself. The whole idea about acting as if is embodying a future version of yourself and creating that future version now. There's nothing stopping you from feeling good. There's nothing stopping you from wearing those beautiful outfits and feeling that powerful. There's nothing stopping you from treating yourself to a little gift. So that's the whole idea, is making small shifts in your daily routine that don't make your manifestation seem so far away. Number 7 is make sure that your actions are genuinely aligned with your future desires. This is a really big one, because a lot of us, we act one way, we feel another way, and we're giving the universe too many mixed signals, or we're just canceling out some of the work we're putting in, similar to one of the ones I said earlier. And I kind of want to give you an example that, say that you want a lot of money, right? You want to manifest money, you want a big bank account, but you're too scared right now to even look at your bank account. You're too scared to even swipe your card. So that is actually disharmonious action. So if you, for example, want more money in the bank, you have to at least be comfortable looking at your current bank account. So what? It doesn't look how you want it to look. That's how you can visualize it and channel it and use that fuel to help you create that. If you can look at your bank account that is at 0 or even maybe in debt, and just feel grateful that you even have a bank account, rather than, oh my gosh, my bank account is at 0, I don't have any money. Give gratitude for the stuff that you have, and then that future stuff that will be even better that you're manifesting will come to you even quicker, because you're being open to it instead of resisting it. A lot of people, they want something, but they're too scared to even admit that they want it. And that's just disharmonious. Or you just say, oh, I don't really want it. But in your heart, your happiness is kind of depending on it. And that's really disharmonious with how you're acting versus how you're feeling and what you're truly calling into your future desires. So make sure there's some harmony in what you're doing, what you're thinking, and what you actually want. And my favorite question to ask myself is, would this version of me act like this? Would this version of me feel this way? What would this version of me do? So it's okay to take some time, reflect, and even write down a plan of action on how you want to feel, things that you want to do, how you want to act. That's not a bad thing. It actually helps me stay super organized and gives me a lot more clarity. Number 8 is don't become super obsessive or too self-critical when you're trying to act as if. I said this in the beginning, but it's really, really important to remember that there's no way for you to mess this up. If you aren't, quote unquote, successful at acting as if, it doesn't mean that you're not going to manifest something. You are always manifesting. Even right now, your energies are calling in your future. That's manifesting. So don't think that you're going to mess this up. My biggest key pointer is to just keep doing what feels good to you. And that brings me to point number 9 is, in the end, the goal of your manifestation is just feeling better, right? More happiness, more joy. So acting as if can just mean taking part in anything that brings up those same emotions. So say that you're trying to manifest a new job and you believe that you'll be happier in a new job. So right now you're currently always super miserable in this new job. I'm not even asking you to be happy at work and love your current job. Instead, after work, maybe do something that makes you happy. Maybe go to happy hour with people you really care about. Maybe go on a run and get those endorphins running. Maybe go get yourself a pedicure. You can still channel happiness even if it's not in direct correlation to what you're trying to manifest. And the last one, and the most important one, in my opinion, is actually just believe that you are worthy. So many times we try all these tips and tricks and affirmations and vision boards because we believe that those are going to make us feel better. Those are going to be the trick to manifesting. But those are all just tools. Everything I teach you, these are all just tools to amplify and help you. But really, all it comes down to is you knowing that you're worth it. If you can declare, I am worthy of this, you have won. If you can truly feel that worth, if you can truly understand and know that you are so worthy and there's nothing that makes you better than or less than the other person who already has it, that is when you have truly mastered and truly, truly been able to be like, you know what? I know what I'm doing and I am worthy of manifesting everything I want. So I invite you to go through these 10 steps. I hope you were able to take some notes and start practicing acting as if, and practice it. It's not a fix all. It's not a one-stop solution. It's not a magic trick. Just understand that your feelings are in your control and you are allowed to control your feelings, even if it's not the easiest thing to do. If someone breaks up with you, you are allowed to hurt, but you are also allowed to feel okay. You don't have to only hurt. If you lose your job, you are allowed to feel confident that you're going to get a new job. You don't have to be sad just because you lost your job. And I know that sounds so cliche, and some of you are going to be like, Pyle, how is that possible? But I want you to remember you are the only one who has the power to control and monitor your emotions. It does maybe take a little bit longer for some people than others, but you have that power. We all do. And that's the beauty of being human. We've all been granted that power to monitor ourselves, heal ourselves, reflect on ourselves, create the life we desire. And the way you do that is by channeling the emotions you want to feel. I know it doesn't always feel like it sometimes, but just remember that you are completely in control of your emotions. And the first rule kind of that I said to acting as if is feeling your way into those emotions. And the reason I put that first is because I do think the emotional side of manifestation, the energetic side, is the most powerful. And for our brains and minds, emotions are very, very powerful. So just play around with it. Have fun with this. Think of this as just a way for you to play around, enjoy yourself, experiment, and just create things that you couldn't even dream of just a year ago, because I know you have that power within you and you just have to believe that you are worthy of it. And so I encourage you to just go out today, even if you just start simply by declaring on a piece of paper some of the feelings you want to feel, or working through and making one small daily shift that takes you one step closer to your highest self. I really hope that this episode was helpful for you. And if you have any questions, I'm always here to answer them. And just thank you so much for spending some time with me and being here and listening to all these suggestions. I genuinely hope that this podcast brought some clarity on how to actually act as if. And if it did, it would mean so much to me if you could just share this on your stories and tag me. I love seeing your biggest takeaways, your biggest aha moments. So it would mean so much to me if you shared on your story, left a review if you ever felt called to. All of that helps me help you even more. And just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here for another episode. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk with you soon. Mwah. Bye. So, how did you like today's episode? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. And before you leave, I wanted to just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me. If this episode or any of my content has ever inspired you, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could leave a review in the iTunes podcast app and just share this with someone you care about. The more your guys leave reviews and share this with people, the more I am able to create more content for you, and that's what fuels me and keeps me going. I am so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today. And until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of healing energy. Bye.